To master the art of being invisible is not to be absent, but to be unpredictable. In a world that equates noise with power and speed with confidence, the person who can sit in silence becomes the most formidable force in the room. The invisible negotiator wins because they refuse to feed the emotional hunger of their opponent. When you are silent, you become a mirror. People see their own insecurities and anxieties reflected back at them, and they will often talk just to fill the void, usually to their own detriment. Here is the blueprint for the art of invisibility in negotiation. 1. The vacuum principle. Nature abhors a vacuum, and so does the human ego. When you stop talking, you create a psychological void. Most people are terrified of silence. They feel a compulsive need to bridge the gap with explanations, justifications, or concessions. The strategy: after you state your price or your terms, stop. Do not add a because. Do not ask, "What do you think?" Let the silence sit until it becomes heavy. The first person to speak usually loses the most ground. 2. Tactical empathy through listening. Being invisible means removing your own ego from the equation so you can fully map the other person's mind. When you are silent, you aren't just waiting for your turn to speak, you are collecting data. The observation: pay attention to the cracks in their narrative. People often reveal their true bottom line or their greatest fears in the throwaway comments they make just to break a silence. The mirror. Use short, simple labels like, "It seems like you're worried about the timeline," and then return to silence. Force them to elaborate. The power of no and the strength of the neutral face. A person who is invisible is hard to read. If you react visibly to a bad offer, you've given them a roadmap of your emotions. If you remain neutral, nearly invisible in your reactions, they have no way to calibrate their next move. The response: if an offer is unacceptable, don't argue. Arguments are loud and visible. Instead, offer a calm, short rejection. "That doesn't work for me." Then fall back into silence. This forces the other party to negotiate against themselves. 4. Emotional detachment, the sovereign mind. The most invisible person in the room is the one who is prepared to walk away. When you are overly attached to an outcome, you become loud. Your desperation shows in your body language and your tone. The mindset: treat the negotiation as a game of logic rather than a battle of wills. If you can't get what you want, you simply leave. This level of detachment makes you a ghost. You cannot be pressured, bullied, or manipulated because you have no hooks for them to grab onto. 5. Managing the Alex in the room. In every negotiation, there is a version of ourselves we want to project, the Alex who is smart, capable, and successful. The mistake most make is trying to prove that identity to the opponent. The lesson: you don't need the other person to think you are brilliant. You need them to give you what you want. Let them feel like they are the smartest person in the room. Let them win the noise battle while you win the result battle. The ultimate truth: silence is not the absence of thought. It is the ultimate form of focus. When you are invisible, you see everything, but nothing can touch you. In silence, you don't just hear what they are saying. You hear what they are thinking.